Hello, everyone. Welcome in on this fine Thursday, which means, as I was speaking to Ominous Nya earlier, Thursday means it's almost Friday, which means it's almost Saturday. Huzzah. Huzzah? Fuck me. Hello, everyone. Today, I want to play and want to share with all of you the game Citizen Sleeper. I think it's a really interesting little game, kind of trying to eke out a living on a space station as an artificial humanoid sort of robot that's a copy of another living person somewhere else. We'll learn more about the story as we go into it for sure. It's definitely meant to start you kind of very in medias res of a stranger in a strange place kind of deal, and I'm always a big fan of stories like that. So, kind of a bit of a melancholy game and things like that, and it's but at the same time it's sort of nice little grounded sci-fi. I think it's interesting. Switching over to the game, and it's got a little bit of we do not need content warning spooky. This is not that spooky. Oh shit, also that's the wrong game tile. There we go. Everything's fine. Oops. But yeah. So, without further ado, let us begin. Oh, it has my old thing as well. The first thing we have to do is choose our character class. A lot of things are based on sort of skills and what we're good at will push us in certain directions. They're not hugely important as far as I understand. I know I was a machinist last time, so I'm going to do something else. A machinist repairs and modifies automated systems used in industrial resource extraction. Sleepers assigned to machinist work are usually diligent, careful, and structured people. The perk we would get if we were a machinist would be to get random scrap on engineering actions. The 5 skills we have are engineering, working with machines and physical tools, interfacing, working with digital interfaces, endurance, which is physical or strength in will, intuition, which is approaching it with awareness, approaching problems with awareness, and engage, which is approaching problems head on. An operator works with drones and high-precision remote machines to perform complex tasks from a distance. Sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. The perk we would get is transfer intercept. We would gain cryo on interface actions. I think cryo is money, if I remember right. And extractor. Extractors work on resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. Sleepers assigned to extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, and have a high level of endurance. Our perk for this would give us photosynthetic skin, which would allow energy recovery by sunbathing at home. I think, though, an operator is going to go as the most interesting thing on this run. So, let's be cerebral in our thinking. Unknown. Where are you? The first thing you become aware of on waking is the disconnect, the delay between thinking and feeling, between wanting to act and acting. Minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. It is at its worst when waking, when yourself has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, to be in a body that was indisputably yours. Think of that body. Forget that body. Thinking of that body. Hey, Myth, welcome in. We just started. A leap into a cold lake on a hot day. The sting of blood welling from a fresh wound. The friction of a fingertip. All of a sudden, the memories are closer than you thought, blurring as you approach, until you can't tell one from the other. The cold slips in, behind and around you, and the sensations fade out of reach. Perhaps you should be thankful for the dulled nature of this new body given your current circumstances. The walls of the container feel immediately present. Cold, hard, at your back and face, cramping your limbs. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next, and retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful, not like you used to know pain, at least. In emergency mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There is no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered with the banal quality of a digital notification. Right now, there are thousands of them. Yeah, Scoop, I don't think you would like life in a pod. I think that would be pretty bad for your temperament. Remember the plan or remember the others? Remember the plan. You mostly remember that it wasn't a good plan, but then your options were limited. And once you got the itch to get out by any means possible, it was either that plan or something much worse. It was at least simple. Collapse the shaft, drift away in the chaos, slip into cargo processing, seal yourself into the containers, and then just hope the freighter left before you were missed. Somewhere, lost in the shaft, others never found the meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers, but the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough. Enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock. Even if, in the airless hold of a freighter, you might freeze solid long before you reached any destination. Wait for the cold, try to rest. Try to rest. But you are restless. It has been a long time since you left. Surely weeks, maybe months. You are dully aware of damage to your legs, your right arm. You have been reserving energy as much as possible, but your body has still needed to shut down many of its systems to protect you. You have spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your emulated mind, and once again, recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. Rest. Time passes. The cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth. Not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints release from their rigor. Sound, too, everywhere. Screeching and shimmering so loud that your body ducks your hearing to protect its sensors. Then light. White as the cold. Softer and softer, until in a haze of dirty yellow, a figure appears. You are out. Dragos, pragmatic salvager. It has been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in a corner of the scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You are slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of an improvised heater. You are surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ships, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice. "So, sleeper, you are thawed yet?" Almost. Stay silent. Almost. "Never seen one of you come in like this. New frames must have better perseverance in sub-zero vac. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid to hull plates or inside-outer locks in my time. They weren't so lucky. Dragos comes into focus. Shrouded in makeshift tech, his headset with its glinting eye is the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulder, one of his symbiotically linked drones perches, its irising eye locking you with an unflinching stare. The game category is wrong? Is it still last report? I don't know. There we go. Think I've updated. Thank you, Scoop. And thank you, Pancakes, for noticing it before Scoop did. I saw two names that were both purple on my crawl. So my brain just immediately... Two purple with both of the exact same badges next to each other on my little crawl on the side, so I just thought they were the same person because I'm blind. But yes, Pancakes, thank you for the notification. Appreciate it. Last living sleeper that came through this yard was long ago. They didn't last long. You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment. Or perhaps just figuring out what to do with you. I plan to survive. What happened to them? They sigh. What happened to them? He ignores your question. I won't ask what led you to do, to sell yourself to a corporation. And I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body, that's theirs now. And you are just software. A rogue emulation illegally possessing corporate property. You're not alone. You remember biometrically signing the forms, the cold floor on your feet as you padded to the sleeper cells, the promise of a life off-world. But as you do, you get the now familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are things you know, but not things you feel. You are no longer that person. You are an offshoot, copy. What you won't know is what's ahead. At least the last one did. There's no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. A Senar wants to protect their property, but if they can't keep hold of you, well, then no one can. You remember that too, or at least rumors from the other sleepers. Planned obsolescence, a built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them and your body begins to shut down, separate from your emulated mind. How long has it been? How long do you have? It's a little post-cyberpunk. It's more transhumanist in the angle of it, because it's in... I feel like cyberpunk in general as a genre tends itself to more grounded terrestrial things. This is an active, like, space station off-world. This is pretty harder sci-fi with a lot of transhumanist elements in it. Cyberpunk as a genre also has a lot of transhumanist elements in it too, so there's definitely a ton of overlap between it. The nuance and difference of it is pretty academic more than anything else. But for now, Sleeper, you are one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances up and away towards the glassy dome of the yard. The Eye is the best place you could be right now. The Eye? The station. You'll see soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I've got things to be getting on with. He trails off. There's an old freight container I've been using as storage out in the stack. We haven't been pulling much valuable scrap these days, so you are welcome to it. Something wells up inside you. Emotion. Fatigue. You shakily get to your feet. Nod. Alright, you head on up there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Drago stalks back into the wrecks, his drones already converging on a rusting hulk. Plasma flashes silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to work. Tutorial. Introduction. Welcome to Erland's Eye. Life on the Eye runs in cycles, during which you can talk to characters, explore areas of the station, and perform actions. At the end of each cycle, you need to head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward on the station. Head to the empty container location and rest and end the cycle now. Select locations by clicking on their icons. An empty container. Your home for now. End cycle. All cycles need to end. Rest and prepare for the next one. Container. 4 steel walls. You wake, curled up in the corner of the container, and begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body, the one you wake in now, strange and disjointed. Its messages readable, but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar blanket close against the cold. Here you are, on this ruined station, millions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It's impossible to know. After all this, what matters? Escape, getting answers, or building a life. Music is really loud. Music level. Let's take you down to 3. Let me know if that's still super loud, Scoop. I think the important thing here is building a life. Maybe you did get lucky, finding yourself here. Maybe here, on the edge of everything, there's a life for you to build. But before you can build anything, you'll need to learn to survive. Maybe, if you can do that, you can make a life for yourself. Dragos has left a few comforts in the container. The mylar blanket, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electric stove, and some faded sachets of some desiccated powder. You thumb the power stud of the stove and begin to boil the water. The contents of the sachets smell like damp wood, and you sprinkle them into the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images from your restless sleep come back to you. A ring, like the station, but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pulling at your skin. A constellation of bright polygonal shapes, like angular suns burning into your mind. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it is long after you've finished drinking before they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best you can, and try to gather enough energy to greet the day. Tutorial. Condition, action dice, and energy. 1. Your condition represents the current state of your artificial body. It depletes by 1 segment each cycle, but can also be damaged by violence, injury, or lack of food. If your container bar empties, you will suffer a breakdown. You will have to figure out how to recover your condition now that you no longer have access to corporate pharmaceuticals that were keeping you alive. Wake up, make tea, remember the horrors. Every game is the same. Every game mimics life in such a way. Action dice. At the start of each cycle, you roll your action dice. These dice can be used to perform actions on the station. The number of dice rolled is based on your current condition. The worse condition you have, the fewer dice you have. Once you have used your dice, you cannot take any further actions and must rest to recover them, ending the current cycle. Energy. You also need to eat to survive. This is represented by your energy bar. You can refill your energy bar by eating, but first you'll have to find somewhere to get food. Your energy depletes by 2 segments each cycle. If it becomes empty, you'll be starving. When starving, energy losses become condition loss, and your condition will also deplete at a double rate per cycle. We gotta eat to live. So, this is basically the gist of the game. We are going to be exploring the station, encountering various situations, using these dice to do certain things. The higher the dice value, the more likely we are to succeed at the thing we are trying to do. They're usually modified by the limited skills that we have, which I think I'll be able to see as soon as I step away from this place, but Dragos is standing in the corridor when you close up the container. He is still wearing his headset, and in the harsh light of the corridor, you realize it is implanted. A drone sits on his shoulder, its cache of sensor eyes rapidly irising. How are you feeling? Not good. The drone chirps. Dragos nods. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much, but it will keep you safe. He pauses. So, I'm not going to chit-chat for too long. You well enough to work? Oh, interesting. So it's less about figuring out if you're going to do good or bad and more at something, but more about deciding what you're going to do good or bad at. Kind of myth. There is also a range. So basically, like, tests will have a certain difficulty, and if I put a 4 in it, it'll tell me whether I have, like, a 25% chance for a positive result, a 50% chance for a neutral result, and a 25% chance for a negative result. And you can modify these back and forth. Like a 6 will almost always be like 100% chance positive, and a 1 will almost always be usually pretty negative. Yeah, it's an interesting twist on dice rolling. It's still very heavily RNG, and I think it's meant to just grind you down, but it's an interesting way to manage things here and there. So there's some variance, but there's also some control over where you want to succeed more at. Work? Look, I'll be honest with you, Sleeper. I didn't pull you out of that container out of the goodness of my heart. He looks away. Reminds me of Fiasco a bit. Kinda, yeah. Fiasco's definitely more, like, codified with it into, like, a 6 means a very specific thing, but there's a lot of similarities with the sort of, like, moving dice around and assigning them to specific things. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old hulls down, sell them off to the shipyards or the bright market dealers for cryo. Occasionally, we pull out some tech, something with a bit more value, but most of what comes in is scrap. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure as a sleeper you'll be used to the manual labor. And obviously, I'll slip you a few chits of commission based on whatever you turn in. Chits? These. He pulls out a handful of small metal bars. Air-walled cryo, isolated from the market. It's what we use for trade out here. He stuffs them back in the pocket. He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually do this. In my opinion, you'd be best suited to moving on as quick as you can, and sleepers, well, he trails off. But things being the way they are for me at the yard, he pauses. I need the help. But you helped me out. I'm happy to return the favor. You're giving me a place to stay. Of course I'm gonna work for it. Okay. He pauses, thinking of something else to add. Look, just come down to the yard when you are feeling fresh. There's plenty to do. Will do. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away, the drone hopping along ahead of him. See you later, he calls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. We can view our character over here. The tests you make are always going to be one of these 5 stats, and you have certain abilities that you can, like, apply as you level up and get upgrades, which give you further bumps and things like that. So, like, if I were to put a 5 in an interface check, it would be treated as a 6. So you can also modify your pass-fail chance with skills. I also, right now, because I'm an operator and thus a fairly flimsy mech, have a -1 to endurance. So if I have to make any endurance checks, I'm always going to have to suffer a little bit. I think I can buy that off eventually if I want to, but there's a lot of up and downs. I know I wasn't able to fully max out a character with all the points that you get. You just don't get enough. But yeah. So that's kind of the back and forth. Yeah, I'm just kind of a little guy. I'm just a little guy with little robots. I'm good at dealing with robots and hacking. Oh, right. You use the mouse wheel to scroll, or you can do this. Dragos' yard. So, looking around the space station a little bit, there isn't a ton that we can do. We can go to passage to low end, but I think we need to help Dragos a bit. Actions are the primary way that you interact with the world of Citizen Sleeper. To perform an action, click and drag your chosen action dice to the slot. Actions reward you with clock progress, energy, condition, or items, depending on their outcome. There are 3 types of outcome. Positive, the action goes better than expected. Neutral, the action succeeds. Or negative, the action fails. Action dice affect these outcomes. Yeah, so 6 is 100% chance positive. 5 is 50% chance positive, 50% chance neutral. So 5s and 6s are always going to be fine. 3 and 4 are the 25, 50, 25. And then 1s and 2s are 50 negative, 50 neutral. So you in general skew towards success on average, but yeah. Actions display information about their type, risk level, and the skill modifiers that apply to that action. Either critical or repeatable critical actions can only be performed once. Either safe, risky, or danger. Safe means that there's never going to be a loss of money or energy. Risky means that on a negative outcome, you may lose money or energy. And danger means on a negative outcome, you actively damage yourself. And neutral means you can still lose things. So dangerous ones you don't want to fuck up if you can avoid it. Skill, the skill that it involves, we went over that a moment ago. And then modifier is either -1, 0, +1, or +2. This is added to the die. Some actions require a +1 to be able to perform. So it's basically you need a limited amount of training in whatever you're doing to be able to do it. So our only options right now are manual salvage, which is an endurance check, but it's safe, or hull dissection, which is an engineering check, which is risky. Even the rustiest hull can hide valuable components and materials. Extracting them means carefully and skillfully. It means cutting carefully and skillfully. Yeah, it was very clear and very good documentation. I thought you might be proud, Skip. Yeah, weirdly, you can't just kind of bumble your way into being able to hack into deep things or repair fusion reactors. But I think we can afford to throw one of the 5s on our hull dissection and give that a shot. Clocks. Actions often progress clocks. Clocks are displayed below actions that fill them, and they track your actions and how they affect the world. Filling a clock means something good or bad is about to happen. Some clocks, such as the one tracking Dragos' debt, are cycle clocks. These clocks tick themselves once each cycle and can complete without player input. Any active cycle clocks will be displayed on the icon for that location. It takes you a while to get a handle on Dragos' equipment, but before long you are precisely slicing down hull plates into neat piles. So we got 15 cryo for that, and we are progressing back in business as a clock. Dragons in Debt. Dragons in Debt sounds like a YA novel. Or like a YA fantasy novel. I think I'm going to try hull dissection again with a 4. Tutorials. Drives and navigation. In Citizen Sleeper, you will unlock drives as you discover more about yourself and the world. Drives guide you in pursuing specific objectives, depending on which path you wish to take. You can track drives, and any tracked drives will place a yellow marker on locations that will help you progress your goal. Access your drive menu via the arrow button at the top left of the screen. Or a Brandon Lee Mulligan campaign, yeah, absolutely. You are now free to explore Erlin's Eye and make a life for yourself here. Try tracking a drive to help you survive. Look for food to keep your energy up and a way to recover condition. Fill clocks to progress stories and find new opportunities. Remember to end cycle at your home when you are out of dice. Use the mouse wheel or WNS to scroll along the station. Rotate the view with A and D. Good luck. Neutral outcome, back in business, 15 cryo, same situation. So A and D. Survive. You need access to corporate pharmaceuticals, otherwise this escape attempt will come to a rapid end. Find a doctor. Repay Dragos. Dragos pulled you out of the salvage and set you up. Perhaps you can repay his kindness in time. Ooh, yeah, okay, we got a lot of stuff now. So, as always, there's a lot of different paths that we're going to be able to take here. Or, as it said earlier, there's a lot of different paths we're going to be able to take here. If any of you, have NPCs that you want me to follow or find out more about at any point, tell me and I'll drift our character towards those. I think let's go check out some of the rest of the station, though. We don't need to do anything until we commit dice to it, I believe, so we can examine all of the things that we have access to now that life has opened up a little bit more. So heading over to the shipyard, Havenage Construction Yards. So we could progress the yard hand clock here. The only way to get to know the shipyard is to work there. No tourists here. We could assist a shipbuilder with an engineering check or haul materials with an endurance check. I don't think we're going to be hauling materials anytime soon. That's not what we do. You don't have connections, but you do have skills. If you can get a shipbuilder to notice them, you might be in. I don't think we have really anything to do with that right now. Music is still a bit loud. Hey, Bridge, welcome in. We're just starting our new life on Erlin's Eye, a space station. Dock C4. Helicon Crossing. Merchants willing to run the gauntlet of the Helion system are rare, but those that do always return, eventually. So this is a cycle clock, and I don't think we can interact with it in any meaningful way yet. The Rotunda. The old dock terminal. Dock Watcher. Getting to know the Rotunda doesn't just mean new places to visit, it means keeping your eye on new arrivals, too. You'd steal dock plans, which is an engage check. Havenage security has to have plans. Stealing them would be the fastest way to get to know this place, and the most dangerous. Or we could explore the Rotunda, an intuit check. The Rotunda, the old dock, is filled with passageways and concourses leading to all kinds of docking bays. Havenage run the Rotunda, and their security watches the docks. Better to avoid attracting their attention. So there's the plus in this where Dock Watcher, if we fill this up, something good happens. And then the Havenage watch list, which is negative, where if we fill this up, something bad happens. We are sitting on a 2 and a 3 right now, and none of these are things that we are particularly good at, so let's keep exploring a little bit more. Salvage sortie. It takes several cycles to reach the starward belt and return, loaded with scrap from the old wrecks. Nothing we can do there yet. The Bright Market. A bustling, open market. Local knowledge. The Bright Market is the busiest part of the Eye's lower rim. Here, you can find anything and everything. You can ask for directions. Why wander when there are hundreds of people that live and work within the Bright Market? All you need is the courage to approach them. or exploring the market. The smells and sounds of buzzing activity of the bright market make it a dizzying place to wander, but an enticing one, too. So that's probably a good place for us to maybe try to look for a doctor. After some spacers caused trouble in the low end, Yatagan have imposed a toll for entry. No one gets in without paying. Costs 60 cryo, we only have 30. We also have no real reason to go to low end yet, so. I think our best bet right now is going to be... let's spend some time looking around the rotunda with the 3 that we have. This could go bad, but we'll see. Hey! You systematically work your way through some busy passages, noting some locations of interest as you do. So we've got 2 towards Dockwatcher over here. I'm not willing to throw a 2 at this, though. A 2... Ooh. We've got new icons, because we've learned a little bit more. The Overlook Bar. A grimy spacer haunt. Get a drink. You're unsure if your frame can metabolize alcohol, but this fungal drink fermented along the greenway seems like a good test. Doublebug, welcome in. Always happy to have a lurker all the same. Overlook Regular is a clock that we could progress. The Overlook isn't exactly a restaurant, meaning that the only way you'll gain trust around here is with a stiff drink. Or goodbye ration. Tala keeps some expired Solheim rations behind the bar for those weary spacers who ask why the Overlook doesn't serve food. Let's get a drink. Energy and an Overlook Regular. Mossy tones and aniseed sharpness fills your mouth. It isn't totally unpleasant. At least you can taste it. You know what? I'll buy 2 more drinks. That'll fill up our energy bar, which is good. And it doesn't seem to progress the clock, and it'll fill up the Overlook Regular one. And we got the money right now. Overlook, a favorite haunt for spacers. The glass shatters on the steel bar beside you, and the taunts don't take too long to follow. Hey, haunt! The spacer calls from across the low room. What are you doing here? He laughs at his own joke. Playing human? Shout back, leave, or ignore him. Ignore him. You hunch a little further, staring at the hundreds of tiny impact points that scar the bar's surface. A hand on your shoulder, but as you flinch away, it pats reassuringly. You freeze in place. Out. The voice comes from behind you, spat out like a shot. You turn to see bright eyes, dark hair, and a stare that could breach the wall and vent you all into hard vacuum. As you turn back to the spacer, the second glass comes sailing through the air. Duck. You duck and the glass explodes on the bar behind you, showering you in glittering shards. Through the haze of glass and Jirol vapor, you see Tala leap the bar and close the distance to the spacer. The thud as he slams into the wall echoes around the bar like thunder. Now flanked by other figures quick to their feet, Tala throws the spacer out through the door and stands silhouetted against the rotunda lights. You touch your forehead, and it feels wet. Someone helps you to your feet and back onto your stool. Broken glass rattles as it's cleared, and a fresh measure of Jirol is glugged out in front of you. That same hand, warm, heavy, falls on your shoulder once more. He isn't coming back. We don't tolerate that kind of shit here. Tala flops onto the stool beside you. Let's get a look at you. Tala wipes the powdered glass from around the wound. Someone places a bottle of alcohol in a metal tin with tweezers on the bar. She disinfects them and turns to you. You were pretty fast on that second glass. She smiles, picking a piece of glass from your forehead. But not fast enough. You don't feel the pain. Only the sting of status messages as Only the string of status messages as your body delivers concerning dermal damage and exposed structures. Yeah, she is my favorite of the 2 people we've met so far. I guess 3 if you count the weird racist spacer. You do feel the care, though, as Tala's bright eyes search your thick synthetic skin for splinters. Watch her or look away. Watch her. Tala works with the skill of someone who's had to pick glass splinters from the skin of a stranger before. She hones in on each bright shard, all the time tapping the tweezer tips in little rhythms that only she can follow. Tala smiles to herself. So, been on the line long? You've been on the... So, you've been on the eye long? Just arrived. Thought so. I've only seen you here a couple of times. A splinter clinks onto the tin. Not everyone's like that, idiot. We don't all hate you. She glances around. Some of the regulars, maybe they fear you. Maybe they're just curious. I don't know. But I do know that the Overlook is a safe place. I know what it's like to be new in this place. Trust me. She meets your eye. I'm not trying to convince you of anything, separate you from your chits. I just want you to know that if you need somewhere, you can always come by here. I know the rations we've got aren't much, and the company is, she leans in, limited. But if you need work, I'll happily put you behind the bar. And if you need shelter, well, we can discuss that. You'll be safe. I usually have Francis on the door, but he's up in the Greenway. This cycle, haggling with our supplier. Francis tends to be particular about what we serve, even if the clientele isn't. She places her tweezers in the tin with a clink. That's you, Sleeper. Here. She slides a glass of Girol to you. This'll help. She stops, her hand still on the glass. Wait. Does this help? I mean, can you get drunk? Let's find out. She laughs. Just don't sit here too long. I'd hate to see you become a real regular. She walks back around the bar, gathering glasses as she does, and before long is retelling how she threw that spacer out to a new group that just wandered in, complete with dramatic actions. She's got a very Akira Toriyama-esque vibe to her. Yeah, I get that. I can see that. There's a lot of that kind of in the... what's the word I'm looking for? Like, grimy utility wear that everybody's wearing that I feel like is very Akira. Oh, and she's got an Akira Toriyama, too. I feel like it's a combination of Akira, the, Tetsuo Akira manga. I don't know who wrote that. And Akira Toriyama, because she's got that, very pointed features and face. She gestures in your direction, and you instinctively look away, back to the worn surface of the bar. You take a sip of the Girol. The earthy fungal tones fill your senses, almost blocking out sight and sound, like diving headfirst into a bog. You might not be able to get drunk, but this connection to something grown, something fermented, something old, feels good. Hey, I like her. She's cool. Ankita, stranded mercenary. Hey, you! Wanna earn a check? Ankita stands beside a huge pile of tied-together hull plates. She stretches out her back, her shoulders bulging beneath her flight suit. Sure. You cross the docking concourse as she begins to split the plating into two bundles. What is it with this place? She asks as she lashes the massive plates together. Everybody wants their cut. Looked him up, and the artist for the game is a French cartoonist, which I can absolutely see. It reminds me of some other French sci-fi comic. I get that. Yeah, Scoop, nice hair, right? She straightens to an imposing height, her armor plates creaking, and looks you up and down. Don't try anything, all right? She taps the butt of her sidearm. I don't want to have to put anyone else down today. Wouldn't think of it. Good. She pauses. Look, I'm not usually... Let's just say my temper's been a little short lately. Ankita hoists one bundle of plating onto her shoulder. Come on then. Enough chat. You've got to earn that shit. You struggle to shoulder the plates, but you do eventually. Ankita gives you a look. Ship's this way. And she sets off down a gantry at an impressive speed. As you catch up, she turns down a passage, pushing through a small crowd of stevedores. Why are you doing this to yourself? Or what's this all for? Oh, this? She nods at the plates on her back. I'm building a tree house. She gives you another of her looks. It's for the ambergris. That cutter you might have seen sitting silent out there. She rapidly turns another corner as you trail behind. She got cut up pretty bad on our last job, and I had to moor up here for a spell. But since then, it's only gotten worse. Someone got in and sliced the core from her shit mine, so now she's gone dark. She shifts the panels on her shoulder. The upshot's that I'm short one shit mined, and with a ton of repair to do. Excuse me. The upshot is that I'm short one ship mind with a ton of repairs to do, and the rest of the crew signed off the moment they got wind I'd been stranded. So, yeah, it's been a time. Yeah, for sure. Sorry to hear it. Yeah, I've seen worse, but I'm bleeding chits every cycle here, so I need to get off, and fast. Ankita swings the plates from her back, almost knocking you over in the process. This is me. She hauls the second bundle off your shoulder. You're the first person I've met here who might actually be considered helpful. She pauses, chewing her bottom lip. Look, you want to help? Come see me. I need a hand putting Amber back together, and you don't seem like the type to try anything stupid. She passes the bundles of plates through the ambergriss's outer lock, and then turns back. Just don't go spreading this all around. Ankita throws you a couple chits. Consider it a bonus for not trying to grift me. She gives you a parting nod and ducks through the doorway. All right, get out of here, she calls back, and the lock slams shut. New discovered. Drive! Ankita's cutter is out of commission. Help her get it running again. The other thing I was getting hints of was Mobius, but I'm not familiar with Mobius. So. Okie dokie. How risky is this? That's not great. I don't love that. I don't think we should burn this too on anything that isn't a safe action. We may not get much for it, but if I put this here, it's exactly the same as if it's a 2. But whatever. There's no risk, really. It's going to take some time to sort and cut your way through the towers of salvage, but you are no stranger to hard labor. Negative outcome. 5 cryo. You ache from hammering away at the scrap, and most of it crumbles into worthless rust. You call it a day early before you injure yourself. Now we are out of dice. Time to sleep. We're gonna lose 2 energy and 1 condition. I wonder if that will lose us our 4th die. This time, you don't wake up. Instead, the ghost of the station, that shifting skeletal ring, surrounds you. For a moment, you are gone, absent from your own body, stretched out across a colorless void. Then the connections begin to establish themselves, threads tugging on the edge of your mind. These threads become vectors of exchange, and then extensions, as you feel your thoughts slipping away down them, dissolving into the millions of distributed nodes they connect to. You see the station. No, you feel the station, like a web of texture in a smooth black liquid. Observe it. Even though you have no eyes, no sight, you see/feel the map of the station. No, not the map of the station, but the map of its connections. It is a looped cloud with spokes and spires that jut out into space. It is an ingrown thing full of obsolete loops and severed pathways. It is a system, a map, and a territory all at once. You notice a tugging feeling, pulling at you insistently as if it were a small child. Somehow, it is pulling you in two directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden, everything shuts off. You come back trembling into this unfamiliar body, both yours and not yours, all at once. You find yourself standing in the container, eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel a change within you, a shift. You close your eyes for a second, and you feel it waiting there, the station splayed out across your mind, a storm of connective nodes waiting to be explored, and then it is gone. Hey Ava, welcome in for the 2 minutes. Good luck with your stream. I hope it's a great one. I'll probably pop in. Where are you going? Let me know. I'll kick everyone here after a thing is a raid. I'll try to figure out how to do a raid. Is it Sword and Key? Cool, yeah, I'll try to figure out how to raid for the first time if at the end of this, and kick everyone over. Good luck. Have a good time. Meanwhile, I do want to pay off Dragos' debt, but I also think the Everlit clientele can be a tough guard, but you have Tala's backing. That means a lot. Pebble, thank you for the subscription. I appreciate you taking money out of Jeff Bezos' pockets and putting them into mine. It's more crushing space poverty, Ava. So, horrors in their own right. I think we should explore the market. I think it's really important that we try to find a doctor, and I think this is going to be the best place to find it. So let's try to pass this intuit check and explore the market. Neutral outcome. You manage to follow the flow of people, and you start to appreciate, even enjoy, the chaotic layout of the markets. I think we'll throw our 5 down on this dangerous engage one. Ask for directions. Why wander when there are hundreds of people that live and work in the bright market? All you need is the courage to approach them. You are a little moth. You end up at a drink stall, debating the finer points of the Solheim collapse. You are trying to remember all of the tips your companions offer you. New drive discovered. Survive. Oh, build a ship mine and gain access to the Ort Fabricator. But this sure looks like a doctor. Next comes the call from the enforcer at the door. You shuffle down the flickering hallway towards the open apartment door. You keep your head down and your shoulders high in the queue, trying not to bring attention to yourself. You were thankful for the tip-off that doctor was operating out of this place, but now that you are here, you aren't so sure. The gang enforcer at the door, the flickering light strips, the decaying hab block, they have all made the long queue a test of your nerve. But your options are few, and without a supply of stabilizer, your body will... You suppress a shiver and shuffle forward to the front of the queue. You try to find something to distract yourself. Look inside, look in the Enforcer. Look at the Enforcer. The Enforcer is looking down the corridor, and you dare to glance at him. His purpose is unmistakable. He is there to intimidate, to threaten, and if necessary, to carry out those threats. His broad shoulders are framed with a metal exoskeleton. A couple of mirror-like implants sit below his eyes, like mercury teardrops, subsidiary sense input or aesthetic markers you aren't sure. But you also aren't familiar with the geometric blade-like tattoo on his arm, but you make note of it. You avert your eyes when he looks back at the queue. After a few moments, a figure pushes through the doorway, and you catch a distinct voice. "Send in the next one, Toshiro." The Enforcer jerks his head, and you slip inside, passing through the dark entryway and pushing through the plastic sheeting on the far door. The room beyond is bathed in a warm light. A floor-to-ceiling transparent panel gives a full view of the bright market's sealed roof and the buzzing traffic above, and, for a moment, you are transfixed by the motion. "Come, sit," calls a sharp voice, and you see a silhouetted figure turned away, replacing the plastic sheeting over the frame of a simple folding bed. You make your way across the room. Sabine, a doctor in the bright market. The figure turns The figure turns, and as they do, you see an expression of confusion flash across their features. They open their mouth as if to speak, they blink, and then they quickly regain their composure. "Please, sit." They gesture to the bed, and then turn to an open case of tools on the table. You sit. Sabine turns, a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind in their hand. They hold it to their eye. "Remain still, please." Their tone is clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead, still dazed from their expression. When you first entered, fear, recognition, sadness, unmistakably etched across their face. "How long have you been on the station?" they ask. The scanner still to their eye. "A few cycles." They nod. "It's good you came to me." They set the diagnostic scanner on the table. "I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything." They take your arm and roll up your sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin. "Your body is dying." They say it without ceremony, without drama, but not without empathy. SNARP doesn't like to see its proprietary technology let loose. To prevent bodies like yours, frames, as they call them, from being stolen, repurposed, or, in your case, escaping. They built in a process of so-called planned obsolescence. Frames decay rapidly when not regularly injected with stabilizers, one which SNARP remains the sole producer of. They look up. Sound familiar? How do you know this? Yeah. Good. That may help. They swap to your other arm, running some thin metal device over your skin. You feel your forearm tremble. "I'm sorry," Sabine says. You are unsure if they mean for the cold touch of the metal, or for everything else. Emulations like you, sleepers, as most people know you, aren't classified as people in any of the surrogate systems. You have no rights, no status. They focus hard on the inspection of your arm, and SNARP has no reason to release stabilizer into the market. Myth, thank you for the Prime subscription as well. Really appreciate it. Again, stealing Jeff Bezos' money and putting it in my pockets. And that just made our sub-goal subscription. You are our 10th subscriber. I believe that means you just claimed the last Founders badge as well, if you are find that an appeal. Sabine looks up as if to apologize again, but they stop themselves. "I know little of this is of use to you." They turn away, disassembling the metal instrument and cleaning it. Silence fills the room as Sabine works, and then the silence gives way to tension. You stare at their back, willing them to say something, anything. Sabine turns to face you. "I may be able to help." They sigh. You see the darkness under their eyes, hear the fatigue in their voice. They gesture to the door. "You saw Toshiro outside?" You nod. "He works for my benefactor, Yatagan. They are influential in the low end. They give me the space to work, run the door, and take profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers, tend to their implants, sew up their wounds." They look away. "Bye, Ava. Good luck with the stream." But Yatagan has connections. Smugglers from the Starward Belt. Mercenaries working for the corporations on Ember. If they can source the stabilizer, maybe you'll have a better chance. Sabine sets down their slate, their notes complete. This is dangerous, and it'll be expensive, but I think we can do it. Hey, why help me? Sabine walks away to the window, their face dappled by the shadows of passing drones. Let's just see if this works first. I'll let you know when I have a lead. You move, you nod and leave, Sabine still staring out, unmoving. When you reach the lower level of the market, you look back up through the panels of the roof to see if you can see their face, but the room looks dark against the lights of the market. You duck your head and walk off into the crowd. Sabine's cool, I like them. Alright, so it looks like 3 cycles and we might be able to get stabilizer from Sabine, but we are running fucking low. However, in celebratory capitalism of our subscriptions, we've reached about the halfway point of the stream, which means that in order to keep these pre-roll ads not happening, I'm going to be running a 3-minute ad break right now. Subscribers, feel free to hang out or chat about this thing. Everybody else, we'll be back in about 3 minutes. See you soon. Myth, I think in order to join the Bug Club, you have to turn off the Founders badge. It's one or the other for some reason, and I don't know why. I think it's dumb that you can't have both. Have a good dinner, Bridge. I like this game a lot. I think this game is really interesting. And I am currently working on a project that involves a space station, so this is also half research for me. Myth, I don't get Twitch either. I think I'm supposed to say Pog. Or, What are other Twitchisms? I can't think of anything at the moment. If you have, oh wow, I just jacked up my hair. If you have the Xbox Game Pass, this is on that. This and the sequel are both on the Xbox Game Pass. I played this years ago, I'm realizing. I wonder if I can see based on the what's it called? Achievements. When did I play it last? 2023, 2 years ago. April 2023, 2.5 years ago. Oh no. How can I? Well, this, I just noticed that they have a plush that they made for this game, but it's sold out now, and I'm so sad because it's very good. OBS, where did you go? How do I capture something? Look at this guy. He's so cute. I love him. Anyway, back to the game. Okay. We are back from ads. Let's go. Taxi for... Oh, right. That's filling up till merchants show up. Bar. Let's do a bar shift, I think. I want to kind of try to work towards seeing if we can move out of a shipping container into maybe the room above the bar here, as Tala seemed to suggest that we might be able to. Hey, neutral outcome. Easy. Back. Ooh. Complete active scenes? What active scenes do I have? What have I missed? Is it this? No. Is it this? Ah! Emphis is busy, his broad face uplit by the makeshift gas burners in front of him. With precise, delicate movements, he lays thick chunks of marinated fungus into a dented wok, his other hand idly tossing a metal bowl of sliced vegetables in some red-flecked dressing. The smell is incredible. You watch as he fulfills a set of orders, heaping the fungus with a bright salad and depositing it in plastic trays. A stack of chits rattles in his apron pocket as customers file past the burner, handing out payment. Approach. You join the queue. It's mostly made of off-duty salvagers, vac suits unzipped and rolled down to expose stained vests, grubby mods, and a lattice of scars and tattoos. The grubby mods... They discuss the best food on the eye, the best drink, comparing notes on the bright market dives, their words cut through with heavy spacer slang. Yeah, he's stanced up. An imposing street food vendor. Eventually, it's your turn. You shuffle up to the front. Emphis speaks in a deep, even tone without even looking up. First try is free. Thank him. The smell is almost unbearably strong as he cooks, the earthiness of the fungus laced with something so spicy the smoke makes your eyes water. The heat from the burner is like a bonfire, and your skin hardens in its glare. I know you sleepers, Emphis says while he cooks, his voice deep but clear. A hard life, a lot of stories. He glances up from beneath his cap with piercing eyes. I know. Tell him a story. You begin to tell him about your journey to the Eye, and he nods as he cooks, his eyes never leaving his work. You tell him of the confusion, the pain, but also the sense of possibility and its sudden arrival. You tell him of the cold and the dark of the container, and the endless cycles spent within it. Now it seems you tell him like some dream that you once had but can never forget. You tell him that the Eye excites you and scares you, and you are unsure where to walk, where to look, what to do. Eventually, you tail off, running out of words. He places a plastic tray of steaming fungus in your hand. Next time we can talk some more. He smiles, but next time, you pay. He slams a heavy hand against a button on the burner's side and it shuts off. The roar of the flame and its impressive heat fades. Next time then, sleeper. He waves you away and begins to oil the wok before you return. Excuse me. He waves you away and begins to oil the wok. Before you turn back to the alley, you notice the geometric patterns of circular scars across his forearms, surrounded with a constellation of glinting pin marks. You walk away, and as you do, you take a bite of the rich, spicy, delicately sweet fungus. Your taste sensors light up like a fusion reactor. You'll be back. Space Gaga. Yo, food. Beautiful. Now can I sleep? Was that all the open scenes? Yes. We need dice. Again, the skeletal ring of the station fills your mind. It sparkles with glittering lights like stars reflected in a winter lake. It is clearer, crisper than before. The threads still pull, but you remain in place, flickering in the flow. Between the threads you see bright shapes, caches of shimmering light beneath transparent crystal forms. You follow these paths of a thread across the ring, through these forms, then leap off into the void. You begin to understand. These are nodes and connections, a map of information, of communication. There's so many layers, so many loops, that it seems impossible to parse. But you begin to try. Focus on the threads, focus on the nodes. The nodes are glassy, bright, but in all this flow, the only solid and fixed points. You approach one, a pyramid or a triangle. Dimensions are difficult here, and lean close to it. Inside, shifting layers conceal a tangle of threads, a meeting point of exchange. But before you can glimpse any further, glass clouds and hardness cutting you off. The threads and nodes, passages and puzzle boxes, one leads to another. There is so much here, so many answers, so many questions. All you need to do is follow the paths and open the boxes. You look out across this ghost landscape of exchange and see an opportunity. But then that insistent tugging again, pulling at you. You look down again and see two lines, two threads pulling you in different directions as if they were tied around you. The first thread leads out, away from the station into the inky black. Someone out there is tracking you, hunting you, following the thread to you. They are in a ship, and the ship is approaching ever closer with each cycle. The second thread leads in, pulling deep into the station. Your gaze follows it, and this time you see something. A sphere, shimmering above a strange, angular body. A pulse shoots out from it, passing over you like a torch beam, testing you, tasting you. You open your eyes. The dream ends. Hunted. Someone out there is tracking you, following your trail. It won't be long before they arrive. Oh, we've got bad dice today. Something has changed inside you. The cloud! You can now access the data cloud of the Eye, a network of decaying protocols and data caches. While you are there, you can use dice and items to access data, access systems, and extract data. But be careful. These networks are old and strange. Click the Eye button at the top of the screen to toggle this view on and off. Ooh. Keynode 02, Tutorial Data Actions. Data actions allow you to extract data from the networks of the Eye. They work like dice actions, but in order to unlock them, you must match your dice to the one displayed on the right of the action. If you have any +1 or +2 modifiers in the interface, you'll be given more possible dice to match. You can use any dice that matches the dice displayed. Once unlocked, the data can be extracted. Oh, I think it's time to hack. The data here is part of a cache tucked away during the collapse. Who hid this and for what purpose? I got an encrypted key. A stream of passcodes able to unlock the staging's aging maglocks. Okay, what does this mean? Oh, a lot of things are going on here. Okay. Havenage Gate. Slot Havenage Cipher. This gate keeps traffic out of the Havenage's shipyard's internal network. The correct cipher can grant you access. I don't have one of those. There is a Havenage agent there. A Havenage member is broadcasting on the open network from here, leaving them open to data extraction. Okay. What's this key node? A lone connection feeds into this isolated node. Its last access timestamp is 1,000 cycles ago. Yeah, I'll open that one. What else am I gonna do with a fucking one? That's another encrypted key. Oh! As you drift back from the node, something latches onto you. A thread, strung tight around you. It tethers you in place. A taste. The voice makes you shiver, its source somehow both distant and close behind your ear. You see a distant glint of a light shut off, and then, suddenly, a shape is at your side. It stalks around you, circling like a shark, like a wolf. Entity unknown. Astringent. Processing. Resist. Oh, what a cool guy. That's a friend. You struggle against the thread, and it tightens in response. A glittering garrote. Please hold. The thread around you thickens until it is a ring, a cylinder, a tunnel of light circled around you. It is blinding for a moment, and then it is gone. As it fades, you see a figure, a creature in front of you. Its strange head flickers between different angles, reading you. What are you? The shape paces around you on lithe legs, though there is no ground here to pace on. Entity, identify, origin, serial, cadence. The figure faces you expectantly. Sleeper, Essenarp. Unknown, known. The figure's strange head rotates. Brackish signature, of and not of. Attempting interface. As the figure speaks, more threads begin to spiral from its head. Thick, snaking, vine-like ribbons that flex and wave. They approach with intent. Stop. The figure halts its threads, its head twitching. Entity, your identity is unknown. We only seek to correct illegalities. Can you confirm your legal right to sentience? I am a person. Incorrect. You are an entity. All at once, the hunter's head is directly in front of yours, blocking your vision. You stink of their taste, the one from the sealed dock. Hunter shimmers with fury. I will find access. I will interface. Sealed dock? An entity hides in the rotunda. You are its puppet. Hunter extends a razor-edged thread. I will not be diverted from my task. It glows with murderous intent. Strike. You lash out with all your force, not a physical strike, but a focusing, a spike of interference leaping out like the tip of a spear. Hunter stumbles, shifts, separates. Wake up. You open your eyes, blinking back into the station light, shaking with fear. What the fuck was that guy? I don't think he likes it when I hack. This gate conceals a network of systems which have been untouched since the Solheim collapse. A Yadigan agent. Some gang enforces implants are tripping out comm signals. Time to see what they're talking about. Yeah, I'll hack the criminal. Oh yeah, I get $5 every time I hack someone. I got some Yadigan data. The Ort Exchange. A repeatable action. Play the exchange. The flow of chits and components in the exchange is complex, but a sharp eye and some tight trades can net you a good margin. Or you can sell components. The Art Exchange is always hungry for new hardware to buy up, break down, and sell off, and you are happy to supply it. I think that thing was basically an antivirus program. The weird squid deer thing. Oh, Emphasis food is expensive. Maybe next time. I'm not willing to throw down half of my money on that yet. Oh god, these are bad fucking rolls, y'all. As you close up, a voice echoes down the corridor towards you. Sleeper, wait up! Fang is coming down the corridor towards you, a wonky grin on his broad face. Hey, glad I caught you. Do I know you? He grins. You do now? He puts a hand on your arm. I've seen you hanging around. I just wanted to chat. You staying in that thing? He nods back at the container, shaking his head. Rough. It'd be hard to get a start on the eye. He looks down the passage. What was it old Erland said? The eye opens for us all? Nice idea, but, well, not always very practical. He glances back at you. We do our best, but it isn't easy. We? You pass through together into the main walkway. Avenage! We're all one dysfunctional family. Fang puts an arm around you. I'm not part of the security branch, though. Don't worry. I'm with systems. Systems? Everything the eye runs on. He runs a hand along the passage wall. This place is a ruin, but systems keeps it spinning somehow. Or at least we try to. Wealth corrupts, spend it all. Spend it all on mushrooms. He stops you in the quiet passage. Look, that's not what I'm here to discuss. I saw you around and, well, I know a little about you, Sleeper. I have a little proposition for you. He glances around. But this is not the place for it. I have an office just across the way. Give me a cycle or two to prepare, and then when you are settled, stop by. He lowers his voice and gives you a dark look. In truth, I need you. If what they say is true about you sleepers, well, there's work to be done. He pats you on the back, his voice bright and his dark look suddenly gone. Stay clean, Sleeper. He walks off down the passage, raising a hand in farewell. Oh, I don't trust that man. Hey, should I keep hacking to piss off the hunter? I think I should. Also, maybe I can spend these dog shit dice on something of value then. Okay, we've only got 2 more keynotes. Let's do the keynotes. Another encrypted key. This node is orbited by the remains of a corporate countermeasure broken long ago by hackers. Because we also do technically get paid a little bit every time we hack, which is cool. This node pulses faintly as it mines cryo at a glacial pace, abandoned by the hacker that repurposed it. Alright, I got 4 keys and nothing to do with Steal Havenage data. Or I can try to play this 3 somewhere else of value. I think I want to try to play this 3 at here. I want to finish the Dock Watcher Rotunda thing if I can. Good enough. The Rotunda's passages are dizzying, but out of intuition or sheer luck, you stumble onto a new location. Maglock. These old maglocks look like they each need an encryption key to open. Why the heavy security for a decaying dock? Unsealing the dock, 2 maglocks seal the entry to this door. It doesn't look like anyone has been inside in years. Well, good thing I have a bunch of encrypted keys all of a sudden. Let's crack these son of a bitches open. The maglock thunks open, and you can remove it from the entryway. Onto the next one. Neovend. Mysterious machine. As you slip inside the sealed dock, a pulsing light grabs your attention. Among the discarded tubing and rusted plates, a machine flickers with a warm glow. Approach the machine. As you get closer, you recognize the machine's blocky shape, settled into an alcove on the side of the dock. It is a kind of upright cabinet. It is covered in faded logos and messages from which you assume it was once an industrial vendor, intended to dispense and manufacture ship fittings and other mechanical parts necessary for the regular running of freight and resource extraction vessels. The manufacturer is listed as Neovend, and you remember an advert from long ago squeezed among all of the off-world recruitment drives that assaulted every planet-born citizen, which chirpily sang that name over and over. You wipe a layer of dust from the cracked screen, thinking of those contractors squeezed by their own corporate employers to pay for every bit of minor maintenance on their rented ships. "Enter your registration," chirps a pre-recorded message, catching you off guard. Press some keys. You reach for the keypad and something begins whirring. At first it sounds like servo motors starting up, but it quickly becomes a whisper, a whining, and then a multi-tonal voice that emanates from Neovend. "Entity," they hiss. "Speak with me." Who's there? There is a squeal, almost like a strange mechanical swallowing or intake of breath, before the machine speaks again. "I have need of you, and you have need of me." That squeal comes again, and you see that it is the 3D printing apparatus in the upper part of the machine resetting into place, so that each time the servos can be orchestrated to produce that whirring, whining voice. "You are in danger!" Danger? The machine creaks. "You are marked for deletion, entity. Hunter tracks you." The screech rattles through the empty dock. You remember the strange head, the figure, the threads closing in. Hunter. "The Hunter Protocol. They taste your signature." The sudden whine sets your teeth on edge. "You have seen them. This is the gift of an emulated mind." You close your eyes, and the skeleton of the station starts to thrum. "Emulated minds are adaptable. Move where neurons cannot." The mechanism resets. "But emulation makes you target." How? "Hunter searches for illegal entities," Neovend screeches. "You are sentient, therefore illegal." Servos judder the vending machine's casing as they reset. "Hunter searches for me, also. Hide in this machine." You look at the ruined vending machine, an unusual hiding place for sure. "Can counter Hunter, but need an entity outside of the machine." The light flickers. "Need you." A screen attached to the vending machine with a swiveling arm comes to life. It displays a flickering map of the station, ghostly, threaded. A cloud. Points along the rim glow in deep red. "Hunter is always gathering. Too much data. Must build nests," explains Neovend. "Masters are gone, but continues to hunt. Bring this data. Raid its nests." Masters? "Station builders, Solheim." The machine rumbles impatiently. "Long gone. Their protocols still haunt." "Bring offerings. Save self," Neovend says pointedly. "Mutual need means friends," they conclude, tired of the conversation. The whirring amplifies, and then suddenly drops, as the mechanisms within the machine click back into place. The glow fades, and you are left stood in the dark of the sealed dock, that whirring voice ringing in your ears. Fuck? Hey, Neovend? Oops, excuse me. Didn't mean to bump my mic there. I need Hunter data. Ah, new things to hack. Yeah, I definitely trust this vending machine implicitly with no qualms whatsoever. Anyway, I'm gonna buy some food now. Hey, Emphas, check out my ill-gotten hacking gains. Your mouth stings as your sensorium sends warning signals over and over. This is the good stuff. Can we please get some dice that are higher than 3? 2 6s? I'll take. The 1 is a little rough, but we can do something with that. But first, let's see if we can fix our breaking body. The first thing you see on entering the glint of Toshiro's the first thing you see on entering is the glint of Toshiro's implants like a cat's eye in the dark of the corridor. He nods you in as you arrive at Sabine's door. The entryway is still dark, and you push through the sheeting into the surgery. I have it. Sabine stands with a case open in front of them, a set of vials lined up inside, separated by foam inserts. They pick one up, rotating it in the warm light. I have no idea how Yataghan. They trail off. We should treat this with caution. It looks authentic, but I have no idea if it really is what it appears to be. I don't care. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but we need to be careful. Unfortunately, I'm not sure we have enough choice. They gesture for you to sit on the bed. The stabilizer works under a similar principle to an immunosuppressant in a transplant operation, in that it stops your body from rejecting the unfamiliar part of itself. In the case of your frame, the unfamiliar is each of your biosynthetic organ groups, which, over time, are identified by your body as foreign material and therefore must be eliminated. Sabine holds up a vial of the would-be stabilizer. However, unlike an immunosuppressant, the stabilizer doesn't do this by limiting your entire immune system. Instead, it re-encodes your biosynthetic organs with new protein chains which act as passcodes within your immune system. The stabilizer refreshes those passcodes, keeping your frame from rejecting all of its own organs. Which means the stabilizer should be able to encode any organic or biosynthetic material to be accepted by your immune system. They glance away. At least if the stabilizer is genuine. The only way to know for sure is to inject the vial. They begin readying the syringe. I will start with a small dose, to limit the risk. Okay, let's do it. Sabine cracks the glass neck of the stabilizer vial and uses a syringe to extract a fraction of the liquid. They tap the syringe, and you watch as if any sign might emerge from the clear liquid. You barely feel the needle, your frame registering the initial injection but with little response. As sensation begins to spread from the site, a fizzing, trembling wave that disperses through your arm with incredible speed. Your vision goes white, and when it returns, Sabine appears encased in shards of sparkling light that slowly fade into darkness as you settle back against the bed. You swim in darkness, muffled noises like an argument heard from underwater, prickling waves of cold. When you sit back up, Sabine is sitting in a chair by the window, facing away from you, backlit by the glow of their slate. Awake? Yes. The stabilizer is genuine. They sit down beside the bed. I don't know how Yataghan acquired a case of this stuff, but they did. Sabine looks troubled, distracted. You should rest some more, but you're going to have to do that somewhere else. They gesture to the door. I have other patients. Sorry. Sabine nods towards the case. I'm afraid I can't offer you any more doses. You're going to need to pay for your next dose. Silence fills the room, and they return to their glowing slate. Looking around the room, it seems different somehow, as if things have moved or shifted. You wonder how long you've been out. Sabine? Nothing comes free, sleeper. Remember that. You manage to get to your feet and wander out into the hallway. The queue stretches down the flickering corridor. Toshiro stands impatiently by the door and fixes you with a glare as you leave. You lower your eyes as you stumble past, somehow faintly aware. Oh, shoot. Didn't mean to double-click there. Oops. Oh well. 100 cryo? Oh, but it's a full heal. Okay. So we can skate this for a little while at least. Okay. Oh, hey, Fang. Sleeper! Fang catches your attention as you approach the Havenage building, leaning against a bay door to the side of the entrance. You approach. Easier to come in this way. Security and all that. He gives you a look. You know. He slams a button and the bay creaks open, blinking lights in the dark behind it. You follow Fang inside. Truth be told, I don't want to spend much time upstairs. This is where I work. I don't spend much time upstairs. This is where I work. The door hisses as it closes behind you. The bay is filled with pieces of hardware, all rigged up to generators and diagnostic slates, and things you don't recognize that glow with blue screen light. There is a chorus of hums that blends into a single wave of static, filling the dark corners of the room. Fang leans on a server stack and gestures around. You like it? What is all this? He taps a nearby server stack, which bleeps in response. This is my treasure trove, all dredged up from the sea of systems we call the Eye. You wouldn't believe what this place runs on. He steps over to a towering block speckled with vents. Some of these systems are built from the original station. AE-1, the one Solheim built. We've had to invent new components, repair things we've never built, reverse engineer entire subsystems into existence. Residents here look up at the Eye and think they're seeing a constant concrete reality, but this place is a system in constant flux, decaying and growing, collapsing into new configurations. He walks down between the hardware stacks and you follow. We are keeping this place alive, but also remaking it into something new, dragging it away from those corporate origins. He stops. At least that's what I'm trying to do. He turns back to face you among the flickering machines humming all around you. I know you can see this too, Sleeper. All these systems and sections. You can, can't you? I mean, I can see it. It makes sense, right? You're between here and there, between people and their systems. You light this place up like a beacon. That's what I need. You glance at the lights around you, and as you do, they seem to flicker, to realign, to follow your gaze. Fang notices it too. I'm guessing being a beacon isn't always ideal when you are on the run, though. They're tracking me. He pats you on the shoulder. Maybe I can help with that. There's a lot of old growth in this place. Subsystems I can't see, access protocols lost to time and decay, secrets, a shitload of secrets. With your help, I can unlock this place. Break off those last ghost limbs of corporate control. He lowers his voice below the hum. Even in Havenage, there's an old growth. Those whose roots trace back to those bad old days. You help me dredge up the past, and I'll see what I can do about that tracker of yours. He winks. What do you say, Sleeper? I'm in. Fang pumps his fist and claps you on the shoulder. He meets your eye. You won't regret it, Sleeper. Fang passes you a ragged-looking metal tab. A gift, he smiles. It's the Solheim cipher. I dug it up from the depth of the station. Slot that into an old network gate, and you'll be able to pull out all kinds of secrets from the nodes inside. He walks you back to the front of the bay. Start by bringing me whatever you can turn up. Use that emulated mind of yours and see what's out there. Let's get a picture of how things are. Those above, he nods at the ceiling, have granted me an acquisitions budget. I can pay you for whatever data you bring in. I know you need it. He slams the door button again. Keep it quiet and keep it clean, Sleeper. And I'll see you soon. You step, blinking, back out into the passage, those flickering lights still in the back of your mind. Interesting. So you want Solheim data. I interact with that. With a squawk of noise, the old gate flips open, granting access. Solheim node AE-21. This node is leaking corrupted contractor lists from the early days of the system's palladium rush. I'll spend a 1 on that. More Solheim data. That one needs a forward. I see a lot of backing in your future. Hacking. Yeah, I suspect we're going to be in this digital space quite a bit. Hey man, got some Solheim data for you. Feng's eyes light up as the data is transferred over. He hands you a stack of chits and waves you off. Alright, what do I need for the other two? I need a 2 and a 3 or a 2 and a 4. These hunter nests, a 1 and a 3, or a 1 and a 2. Okay, so it seems like my shitty dice can be offloaded into hacking most of the time. That's good. This hacking seems to value lower dice rolls. I'm going back to the bar. Let's put some work in at the bar with these 2 6s, I think. As you start your shift, a crew of salvagers barge in, and the next few hours are a whirlwind of chatter and long pours. They tip well. What's this? Oh. Okay. Offloading scrap. The freighter will stay docked for as many cycles as it takes to offload its haul of scrap into the Havenage yard. I could buy some scrap. Most of what comes in from the Starward Belt is corroded trash, but sometimes something valuable can be found among the salvage. Or I can unload containers for pay. I'll buy some scrap. Let's see what we get out of that. I don't remember. Right, we can sell those, I think, elsewhere. I'm just gonna buy all the scrap that they've got. I've got a decent amount of money right now, and I don't really need much more. Ooh. Yeah, they won't let me buy anything else now. Right, it was the Ort exchange where I could sell components, which will increase trusted trader. Can I do anything else with these? Alright. I think let's sell these to bring up our rep at the Ort exchange. So we're just turning money into rep in a really convoluted way. I'm gonna hold on to one of these in case I can use these for something else. And then I'm going to buy mushroom food. Perfect. We are looking good right now. We're gonna have 5 dice next cycle. I think we got one more cycle before probably I'm gonna call it the stream. Depending on how much happens. Not bad rolls. All right, first things first, let's see if we can finish cracking open these Solheim things. Oh, shit, I can only do one of them. Well, I can do one of these and one of the hunter nodes. And that's something. This nest is a tangle of algorithms recursively generating possible Solheim communication codes. Oh! Hunter's back! A glimmer in the dark catches your eye as the orb of Hunter's head appears in the distance. It is looking for you. Run. You turn away and glide back into the cloud, threads of data rushing past. Another glimmer catches your eye, closer, now that roving orb wreathed in tentacles. It flickers, jumps once, twice, and then it is here. Hunter is here.
Entity, submit to inquiry.
Hunter reaches for you in that unpleasantly familiar way, waving threads, creating a cage. You push against the threads as they close in, becoming frenzied as you push them aside. You are caught by whipping tendrils and feel them pulling you away from the anchor of your body. You push through, clearing the threads.
Entity, hold for processing.
Comes the scream from behind, but you are already gliding away, back to your anchor, your body. You awake, dizzy, distorted, but safe. Normal. It's normal and fine. It's all normal and fine and good here. Alright, I think I'm gonna keep working at the bar. See if we can get whatever Tala's next thing is. The Girol slides from the bottle into the lumpy recycled glass, a pale, grassy yellow under the Overlook's warm lights. The spacer nods and takes the drink, bringing it up to their face in both hands like an offering bowl. This is the good stuff. The stuff Tala says is aged in wooden casks, stored in some closed-off part of the old station, among corroded wires and softly looping systems. Though sometimes it is hard to tell if Tala is joking. Yeah, processing sounds like it's going to be bad for me in the long run. I do not want to submit to processing. Either way, you like pouring the stuff. It gets on your fingers, and if you rub them together, you can smell the mossy drink cut through with aniseed, mushrooms, wood, as the alcohol evaporates. You like those who order it too. The aged Girol is kept beneath the bar, open to order only by those who know it's there, like the quiet spacer, sitting at the bar right now. Busy yourself. You pull a rag from your overalls and wipe down the bar, the Girol smell lifting and disappearing into the stale station air. The Overlook is quiet this cycle, the salvagers busy offloading, the regulars likely at the Ort Exchange or queuing for work at the Havenage shipyards. You are in the right mood for a quiet shift. Some cycles drag along, the Overlook empty and claustrophobic, but this one has caught you just right, and in this moment, some kind of calm has descended over you as you tinker away at the bar, lining up bottles as your thoughts expand to fill the space. Suddenly, you hear a heavy clunking at the door. It creaks open, and a huge cylindrical metal tank tumbles through, slamming onto the floor. Shit! Tala breezes in from behind it, a whirl of hair and bright eyes. Shit, shit, shit! Tala? Sleeper! She ducks behind the bar and comes over. Can you help me with this? You look at the huge metal tank suspiciously. I'm coming. You come around the bar and get to one side of the tank. Okay, says Tala. On my count. 1, 2, 3. You both heave the tank up to standing, somehow. You hold it in place, struggling to keep it steady. Tala? In the back! Comes a voice from behind the tank. Somehow you manage to lug the huge thing into the back room where you place it in the corner, dwarfing the rest of the contents in the cramped space. As you do, you hear a crunch. You stand back and look at the expired rations oozing out from under the tank. Oh, shit. Tala looks at you apologetically. I know you liked those. That's okay. You push the crushed rations to one side. That's the end of that. Tala looks exhausted and rubs her shoulders. Francis, I swear to... Something up? Yes, she sighs. He was supposed to be back from Etienne's up in the Greenway by now, back with our Girol. She leans against the tank. Seems like he's got lost again, or joined the Haifa commune. We need that Jarol. There's 4 other bars near here, and the spacers sure as hell don't come to the Overlook for the ambience. She looks through the open door to check if anyone can hear her. She knocks on the hollow tank, so I'm taking matters into my own hands. She smiles. Welcome, sleeper, to the Overlook Distillery. You look around the dank back room. Needs some work. She looks at some paint flaking from the metal walls. Well, I might need some help, though. She shrugs. You up for it? She knocks on the tank again. Could be fun. Happy to help. Okay! She grabs you by the shoulders. I'm excited! She turns around and looks at the tank. I reckon we chop this thing in half. 1 half for fermentation, and the other we turn into a still. We also need to gather the ingredients. She turns back and looks at you. You look more like a chopper than a gatherer. She smiles. So, how about you build the still and tub while I work on the rest? Oh, wait, sleeper, I have an idea. Tala is grinning now, and it is making you nervous. To make up for the rations, how about we put a kitchen in here, too? Will it fit? We'll make it work! She turns back to the tank. This is gonna be great, she says to herself. You look at the dented tank in the bare room. At least she has a vision. Tala nudges you out of the back room and closes the door. As you go back to the bar, you hear the banging and thumping begin. The spacer finishes up their drink and nods in your direction as you leave. You can't quite tell if it's a gesture of sympathy or good luck. So much for a quiet shift. Yes, I will help Tala build a still. Tala rules. I will spend my last die on helping Tala build a still. Yeah. Tala comes to you for a bit and chats to you about her plans for the Overlook. A second pair of hands makes the work go easier. All right. Dragos' yard. And the cycle. I'm gonna do one thing first, which is I'm gonna see what our dice are. 3 1s and a 4. Ugh. Can we get that last Solheim thing? We can't. This network storage holds corporate records, most of them corrupted by a failed system purge. Let's grab these. Let's bring these to Bang, and maybe he can pull that tracker off, as he said. Plus, it's money anyway. Boom. There you go, Fang. As you enter the bay, Fang is nowhere to be seen. The banks of servers and machines blink out of the dark in staccato rhythms, unseeing eyes of the station's digital ghosts. Shitheads! Fang's voice echoes from behind a stack, followed by the hammer of a fist on metal casing. Those snaky shitheads! Who's snaky? Sleeper! Fang's smiling head pops out from behind a stack. Just the emulated consciousness I have been eager to see. Come back here. You pick your way between the thrumming stacks, trying not to trip on the loose bundles of cables that blanket the dark floor. Fang is sat in the back of a set of monitors mounted to a stack. Tell me, Sleeper, what do you see here? Fang waves at a monitor to his side, glowing with pale lists of information. You lean in closer, looking for the links in the data. The table seems to be filled with personal informations. Names, genders, dates, ID numbers, and the markers of institutional records. People? People, yes, but whose people? Solheim? Bingo. He taps at the terminal. I pulled these from the old data you brought in, all employees of the Eye's original owners. And he leans past you and scrolls the list down. This one? This is a snaky shithead. He stabs at the screen with a finger. The name reads Hardin Hurst. Who's Hardin? That, says Fang, giving you a sideways look, is the thing. He drags a stool out beside him and motions for you to sit in it. There just so happens to be a Harden Hearst in Havenage. He waits for your reaction. In Havenage? That's it. He's right here on the station. Feng leans back in his chair. Just think about it. Decades ago, Harden worked on this station as a... Feng leans across and looks at the monitor. Senior Strategic Operations Executive. Feng raises his eyebrows at you. Our Harden was keeping the money coming in for Solheim. He defined priority growth initiatives by making sure the extractors they contracted out to were hooked into a system that outsourced all the risk and kept all the profit. Good old Harden shuttled thousands of Palladium Rush workers into an infrastructure which meant that their cut of the work that they did went straight back into Solheim. How do you know that? I grew up here, Sleeper. This is my history. I'm a child of the collapse. Feng turns back to his screen, staring at the strings of code flickering by. Before I was born, my parents were Solheim contractors. They ate in Solheim canteens, worked on Solheim ships, they breathed Solheim air, and slept in Solheim beds. Feng's voice rises as he speaks, his hands fists on the terminal edge. And the work that paid for that existence, the cycles of hard extraction out in the belt, Solheim took their cut. This was a company town, so to speak, and my parents were just another in the long line of freelance contractors willing to risk their lives for a shot at anything other than poverty. Disposable. This guy, stabbing at Harden once again with his finger, strategized all that, did the sums, and then somehow, thousands and thousands of cycles later, is still going, still here, crawling in the walls like some shithead snake. He survived the revolution. But how? These guys, they were big time. There's a lot money can get you if you were a company man. Feng relaxes a little. But how is Harden still kicking? I really don't know. He turns to you and smiles. So, we are going to go find out. Harden is now a big shot in the shipyards, just a few degrees back around the eye from here. Feng brings up a map of the lower eye. Havenage might be born out of Erlin's revolutionary zeal, but a flat hierarchy it is not. Harden happens to float to the top. Feng zooms in on the far yards. Feng grimaces. The thing is, I don't have access to those systems. The shipyard crew is a pretty paranoid, and they don't like anyone from systems digging around in their stuff. Plus, we need more than just the name of a Solheim executive. We need proof. Feng holds up a thumbnail-sized drive. That's where this little creation of mine comes in. I call it a ripper worm. He turns the drive between his fingers. It'll rip through any digital storage and spin out a silken thread of filtered data. This one is set on the scent of Harden Hearst. He hands it over. Getting into the compound might be tricky. Feng puts a hand on your shoulder. But you, however, have a particular knack for remote access. Feng grins. If you can extract yourself a Havenage cipher from a Havenage agent, they sometimes carry them among their data caches, you can crack open the compound's network and slot the worm in through any open port. You never even need to go to the shipyards. Harden Hearst in Havenage hides a history of horrible hierarchy? News at 11! So what do you say? Up for it? Hey, Feng, if you don't remember, you told me you were gonna get that tracker out of me. Can we talk about that? What's in it for me? Rooting out a corrupt snake not enough? Find the information and I'll start work on that tracker of yours. Feng scratches at his chin. Anything the worm gets, it'll send back here to me. There's something wrong here and I can aim to get to the rotten core of it. You leave Feng digging through the data among the wires and machines of the old station. As you walk out, you try to imagine the eye as it once was, a vast machine running smooth and strong, directed by people like Harden. A vast Solheim-built machine into which thousands poured from the surrogate systems, looking for new life. The hope of a better future, engineered to line someone else's pockets. It's an idea you are intimately familiar with. You think of Harden, still alive, still past, still part of this place, and wonder if the past is ever truly the past. Neat. But with that, everyone, I think I am going to end this stream here today. Thank you all so much for coming. I really do appreciate it every time. I always love when folks are willing to come support me and what I do. Right now, I'm going to take a look to see. Yes, perfect. I'm going to be kicking you guys over to Sword and Key, a tabletop RPG thing. One of our regulars, Ava, is currently playing in a live-action Magnus Archives pen and paper game. So I think I'm gonna just kick everybody here over, and if you want to check it out, I think these are always a good point. Ava's a fantastic entertainer. I love everything that she does, and I know that if she's working on this, it's a good contribution, and she's going to be a fantastic player. So give it a shot. So we should be heading there in a few seconds. Thank you all for coming. Hey, if you stuck around to the end of the video, I just wanted to say thank you, and I hope that you enjoyed. If you want to help support me in making more of this, you can follow me on Twitch, where I stream these live. Like, comment, and subscribe. I suspect you all know how this works by now, but it really does help a lot. Thanks.